Batter up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stacks and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLB Talk with your host Rob and Chris as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're on YouTube right now, hit that sub button. We would really appreciate it. And the like button as well. And also, if you want to follow us on Twitter/X, on TikTok, go to NYMLB Talk, follow us there. And if you want to follow Rob at Armorosco, you can follow myself at CP7NY. So, Rob, we are back, baby. Baseball is back. By next week, by our next Friday night show, we're going to be watching games, right? Spring training is back. Great. Everything is good in the world. What's going on?
Yeah, everything's good. And, finally, New York is not frozen.
Yes.
It's defrosting, right? It's defrosting. Yes. So that's a good thing. Hopefully we will feel spring in the air soon. But yes, pitchers and catchers and some of the early players are at spring training. And, it's the best. Football's done. Super Bowl's over. We got baseball to look forward to, Chris, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about baseball coming back. I mean, we got the World Baseball Classic starting in a few weeks as well, which is great. But now we could start talking about our teams again a little bit more about the season now. For a while it's been the off-season talk, who they're getting, the rumors, who are they going to sign, who are they going to trade, all that. We could finally start to put that away. I think there's still going to be some moves coming, but it'll just be the minor moves. So what's going on with the Mets? I know we got some bad news this week, but why don't you start us off with the Met talk?
Yeah, well, injuries, right? And it's weird. Lindor, everybody knows by now. Lindor needs surgery on his hamate bone. All right. Okay. We don't. When do we really hear about this? We haven't heard about this a lot. Now all of a sudden, 3 players have to get surgery for that. Jackson Holliday from the Orioles, Corbin Carroll from the D-backs, and Lindor. So, Chris, what's going on with this all of a sudden?
I don't know. It's something that we didn't hear about, and now we hear about 3 guys, that are going to be out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or whatever it is, surgery, and it's that bottom, like the bottom part when you're holding the bat, your pinky, it's right below the pinky, I think, or whatever. And the one bad thing that, they're going to be out to 6 weeks. The good thing is, get it out of the way now. So this way, even if they miss a week of the regular season, it's not the end of the world, right?
Right.
The one thing that's going to take a while for them to come back is the power with these guys, right? And those guys all could hit home runs, right? Whether it's Carroll, Holiday, and also Lindor. That's all a part of their game. So that might take a little bit to come back. But other than that, I think these guys are going to be okay. All right, they might miss a week or 2 of the regular season. Are they going to start off slow? Probably. You got to assume that too. They might start off a little bit slow because they got to catch up and ramp up and all that. But yeah, listen, it could be worse. This could have happened in June or July, right? And then they're out till September or something. So if you're going to have an injury, this is the time to do it, right? So look at it that way.
But what gets me is they said that this was bothering Lindor for a while, right? So we have all winter. Why now all of a sudden? I mean, did it get worse? If it's been bothering for a while, shouldn't they maybe check it after the season's over and maybe do surgery in the off season, not right before spring training?
You would think so, right? I think you're right about that. I mean, I don't know why. If it was bothering him, it seems pretty odd that they wouldn't have, got that done during the offseason. But maybe it wasn't bothering him that much, and he figured, hey, I could play like this, or the pain wasn't so much, But maybe he should have, in hindsight, obviously, we're gonna, all of us are gonna play, Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, he should have did it during the offseason. It might not have bothered him that much until he started ramping up his workouts. And maybe when he swung the bat harder, it started to bother him more, and he went for an x-ray and it showed up, and here we are 6 weeks, like I said, it could have been worse. This could have happened in May, June, July. And you know what? If he misses a week or two, all right, it's not the end of the world, right? And can you live?
Right.
And the thing with Lindor, I think more than Carroll or even Holiday is, yes, Lindor does hit home runs, and that is part of his game. But you know what? He's still a leadoff hitter. So if his power is not there right away, just get on base, right? You got Juan Soto hitting behind you. You got the rest of those guys, Polanco hitting right behind you. Let them deal with, getting the big bat. You just get on base, right? You're the leadoff hitter. Just get on base and everything will be fine, right? So I think with Lindor, hey, like I said, it sucks. He's going to miss a week, maybe, if that. It might not even be that much, right? They said 6 weeks to 8 weeks. So, if he progresses well and all that, he'll be fine.
Yeah, listen, you're right. It's better that it happened now and it didn't happen in the middle of the season. So he'll be all right. And they said it does affect the power, yes, but they said that not really. They showed statistics. I read statistics that said actually some guys had their power came back pretty quick. So we'll have to see what happens. And hello out there to Zilla. Thanks for stopping by. Joe Dell. How's everything going?
And we also got a new one here, Parker Young, another new one to the comment section. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Everybody, obviously. So it's a little bit of a thing. And also the other thing we heard, this is not bad news. Juan Soto is shifting to left field. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, he did play left field up until he played it in San Diego also, right? So after San Diego, he switched. So it's not like it's new to him. So let's give it a try. Obviously, the Mets feel that he would be better off in left field right now. So I'm for it. To me, that's not a big deal. To me, I've told you what the big deal is first and third, right? And now with Lindor getting hurt, some people are saying, well, now Bichette could play. He could go back to his regular position, right? And Ron Darling said that too. Why doesn't he play shortstop? But no, you know what? They want to get him ready for third for when Lindor comes back. So don't fool around with that stuff now. Let him learn the position and, just do what you got to do until then. Dan, how are you doing? Good to see you out there. As usual, Dan, we appreciate it. So that's what's going on with the Mets injuries. But the Yankees got a little new. It doesn't sound that bad.
No,
Chris.
no.
So why don't you tell us about the Yankees injury?
No, I exactly. And I think a couple of things. I just want to get back with the Mets for a second.
Oh, okay.
With Soto moving back to left, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. Like Armand said, Soto has played 460 games and 458 games in left field, right? So he's basically the same amount in left and right, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Listen, he's not a good right fielder, and he's not a good left fielder. This is not hurting. I don't think it's, affecting either way, right? It's the same. He's not going to be great either way, right? So it is what it is. That's what Soto is. Thank God the guy is one of the best hitters of all time in his generation, whatever you want to say. Thank God he's got that offense. Then so you don't complain or you don't feel the defensive lapse as much, right? But he's not a great fielder. That's all. And you got to live with it. It's either in left or right, or he's going to start DHing a little bit more. But I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think it's going to be worse in left field. I think it's the same. It is what it
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's why
And I'm not
it's not.
moving. And I'm with you. I'm not moving Bichette, to
No.
short for a week or two. It may not even be that long. Just leave him at third. He's got to learn it. That's got to be his position this year. So let him learn it. And don't move him. Just keep Lindor at short when he comes back. Like, who's the backup short right now anyway?
Well, see, that's a good question, really. For the infield, like, are they gonna, like, what are they gonna do? Beatty's obviously gonna have McNeil's role, right?
The utility guy. He'll be like, he'll probably play right, left, second, probably third, first,
yeah,
right? A little bit of wherever they need you. He'll be there wherever they need him. Which is good.
Yeah,
that's a good player to have.
And yeah, I just want to go. I want to talk about Beatty for a minute. That's why I'm glad that they didn't trade Beatty. I think that was a good move. They have to hold on to Beatty just in case something happens. So, because a lot of teams, of course, asked about Beatty. Vientos. You feel Vientos is going to have a comeback year. I think he's going to probably do well this year. I think the Mets are going to be just fine. So I'm not that worried. Bichette, like they were talking about today on social media, where I guess at third he dropped a couple of balls or they went through or something. And Met fans, I know.
Days.
And Met fans are getting. They said Met fans are getting nervous, Chris.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. Like I think Vientos, as long as he's got a role, whatever that role is, backup first base, backup third, DH, something, as long as he knows what, and just keep that mind, as long as he has that mindset set, I think he'll be fine. And I think offensively, because the offense is there, right? You guys seen it more than I did, obviously, in that first year. So I think he'll be fine. You just got to get a dedicated role, whatever it might be, and I think he's going to be fine. Bichette, listen, there's going to be some growing pains, right? This is his first time playing that position. So this is the first week of spring training. It's not even, we're a month or so away from opening day, right? So he's got some time to work on it. And I'm sure since he signed and they spoke to him about playing third, I'm sure he took some grounders at third, even before spring training, right? So I think, listen, of course. I always say, they always say this. I say this too. If you could handle shortstop, you're fine, right? I just disappeared, but I'm still here.
You're here. I hear you. There you go.
Okay. But anyway, I think he'll be fine. There'll be growing pains in the beginning, but at the end of the day, he'll be fine. I
think so. Yeah. Chris, and I just want to thank Armand is like the great stat guy out there for us. Yes. He did a great job on last Friday's show as a guest, and he gets to the set. He's almost as fast as you, Chris, with the stats.
Yes, definitely.
Both of you guys.
I'm going to step out for
guys. All right, Chris stepped out for 1 second, and he's back, having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah. All right, I'll just
yeah, that's okay. Do this for now. All right, let's get to the Yankees, just in case I lose you. Why don't you tell us about the Yankees injury?
Yeah, with Cam Schlittler, basically he's got some back inflammation, mid-back inflammation. He's just not going to throw off the mound, they said, for about 6 days, but he's still going to do his throwing off the mound. It's just not going to be on the mound. So, but you know what? He'll be fine. At least that's what they're saying. I think in a few days we'll know more, if it's going to be worse or if it's going to be nothing, right? But the way they're saying it right now, it's nothing to worry about. He even said it talking in an interview. He said it's nothing. I just, he felt it and they want to nip it in the butt now before it becomes something worse, So that's about it. So hopefully nothing, as they say.
Oh, and Armand just sent us something. that deal to bring Zach Gallen back to Arizona might
And
be brewing up right
that's a little bit embarrassing, right? Because he turned
now.
down the qualifying offer. He could have got that, and instead he's probably going to take a lesser deal from Arizona to go back. So that was a gamble that didn't work out so well, and we've
No.
seen that happen last year, right? With a couple of the pitchers. So,
yeah, they're taking risks when they do that,
yeah.
obviously. And hello, let's say hello to Maria. She's back. So hello, Maria. And yeah, so what else is going on with the Yankees?
You know what? All good news other than that,
Yep.
right? So that's the good thing.
Right.
Cole is looking fine. He feels great. They're still not going to rush him. I think Joel Sherman said it this morning on MLB Network on Hot Stove. Basically, he said, look for May 24th as the date, that or later, because if they put him on the 60-day DL to open up a 40-man roster spot, he won't be back until May 24th. That'll be the first day he could be activated from the 60-day DL. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. Don't rush him. They were talking late May, early June anyway to bring him back. So, and if you put him on the 60-day DL, you open up that spot on the 40-man roster. So I think that works out fine. I think that's when we'll see him, the end of May, maybe even early June. They're not going to rush Cole because they have the pitching depth. Rodon is fine so far. He's throwing fine for now. You might see him miss the first couple of weeks, but hopefully by the end of April, first week of May, he'll be back. So other than that, I mean, Volpe, he's probably going to miss at least the first month of the season. I don't think he's started swinging the bat yet. So he's a little bit behind everybody, but he's there working out. He's everything but swinging the bat. I think live pitching is the one thing he hasn't done yet. So other than that, good news for the Yankees right now. I mean, I'm sure, that's going to change once they start playing games. We're going to start seeing the pull muscle or whatever is going to happen. So, but right now it's all good stuff. I mean, it's great to hear, but I know, we all know the injuries start popping up as as spring training goes. So, especially with the older players. So I'm sure we'll hear more, but right now it's all good news.
And Chris, the Yankees made a big signing. They signed former Mets reliever Rafael Montero to a minor league contract, but that's not a bad deal. It's one of those throw deals.
Yeah, listen, a minor league deal is great because if it doesn't work out, then for them at least financially, they're not stuck with someone for a lot of money. So I think if he makes the major leagues, he gets 1.8 million or something like that, or 2 point whatever. So it's not a big deal. So I'm all for it. Those invite to spring training type of deals and stuff like that. I'm all for it. And he's been around, right? He's 34, 35 now. Still throws hard. It's the control that's bad, but you never know. Listen, if he finds it here, he's got something left. That's great. If not, you know what? No harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's like we say, maybe they find lightning in a bottle or something. You never know. Are you able, since your video's not up, are you able to put any of the pictures up right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we go to that picture of Mattingly for a second?
Okay.
We're talking about that. All right. There's Don Mattingly in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform with Larry Boa. How does that make you feel, Chris?
I don't know. You know what? It makes me feel better than I did when I seen him in the Blue Jays uniform. I'll be honest. That was as bad as it gets. Next to the Red Sox, I don't think it gets any worse than seeing him in another person's uniform. Like we seen him with the Dodgers, right? When he coached and managed with them. So I think the Blue Jays one was the worst. We've seen him with the Marlins. That was fine. It doesn't bother me as much. Especially now. It's been a few he's been around now for a few years on different teams. But yeah, it's a much better look than it was last year with the Blue Jays for sure. I could
And
stomach.
and we know why he's there because of his son, but doesn't it get you a little bit where you say to yourself, that could be a Yankee uniform. It hasn't been since he was a player.
Yeah, no, 100%. I wish he was, and in the beginning of the off season, I really wanted him here because I thought he would have been a great mentor to Ben Rice at first base. Because Ben Rice is going to be the first baseman. I mean, who better to learn from Don freaking Mattingly at first base, right? Even if they brought him in just for that, some kind of a infield coach or something, that would have been great to work with Ben Rice. But it is what it is. I don't know why I'm not really sure why they never brought him back, but I don't know.
I'll compare this to something. It kind of, Don Mattingly in a Blue Jays uniform, it would kind of be like David Wright in a Atlanta Braves uniform as a coach,
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
Just doesn't look good. And Eric Katz is out there. Donnie is the man. Yeah, it just, it is kind of weird looking, even though like you said before, we've seen him in all those other uniforms already. Dodgers, Marlins, Blue Jays. So it's, it's not like it's a shock, but it's a Phillies uniform, so I'm not happy.
Even Joe Dell, Don was the greatest late 80s Yankee, no doubt. I agree.
Yeah, and a good player. Yeah, a great player. I mean, I have to say that. Listen, that was a time when, and that's right, Eric. That's true.
Yeah, probably some bridges were burnt, I think, during that time. I don't think he was happy about not getting the job.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it stinks.
I agree.
And we're stuck with Boone. So,
but think about that time period when New York had the two greatest first basemen, with Hernandez and Mattingly at the same time, in New York playing at the same time. That was great.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
So let's throw around some other stuff that's going on. What do you think about the Tigers signing Justin Verlander, bringing him back for a year for $13 million, Chris?
I thought that was a great deal, for the Tigers to bring him in. Tigers got really great starting pitching depth right now. They're going for it, right? After they worked out the arbitration case with Skubal, and Skubal won. And we thought maybe they would trade, nice way to potentially end his career. Yeah, that absolutely. Go back to Detroit. You know what? He didn't pitch bad for the Giants last year. So I think going back to Detroit is a great move, for the Tigers, for him. Can he stay around to win 300 games? I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's still got a long way to go. I think he's at 266. He needs 34 more wins. I don't know if he's going to hang around long enough to get 34 wins.
No, he's got to pitch a couple more seasons for that.
Yeah, they do have offensive issues, Eric. I agree. But I think they'll be all right. I think they're a good, solid team, especially in that division. Division's not great. Yeah, I know. No. Sadly, I think he's right. Yeah.
Those days are long gone. And all right, because Corbin Carroll has that injury like Lindor does. He can't play for the USA in the WBC. So it looks like Red Sox left fielder Roman Anthony is going to replace him pending a physical. What do you think about seeing Roman Anthony play for Team USA in the WBC, Chris?
Hey, you know what? For a kid that just came up last year and now he's playing for the WBC for Team USA, I think that's great for him. And you know what? It's great for baseball to see a kid come up last year and he's already playing for for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. I think it's awesome. The kid looked great last year until he got hurt, but yeah, this is a great experience for him to play with so many great players at this stage of his career, right? I mean, already look at the experience this kid's going to get. You know what I mean? So I think it's great. I think it's a good thing.
And Team USA, I'll tell you, they could win it all. What a
Oh yeah,
lineup so far. We've talked about this before. I mean, what a lineup. They're definitely gonna, they're gonna be right in it, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am this year. I got into it the last time they played, and now I'm really into it. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. It should be fun. I think it's going to be a great series. You got the three big teams, obviously. USA, you got the DR, and you got Japan. Those are the top three teams. And then you got other pretty good teams. Puerto Rico is going to be solid. Venezuela is going to be solid. So you got pretty good teams in there. You got Italy's going to be pretty good. So yeah, it's going to be a fun tournament. And it'll be a good break from watching the spring training games that we're going to get really sick of in about a week. After watching them for a week, right? After a week,
Yeah.
spring training games get really tired because you're like, oh, I just want the regular season to start. So, but yeah, should be good.
Hey, Dr. Jay Thomas is out there. Hi, Jay. Thanks for coming out there. Can't wait to have you and Chief on in a couple of weeks. I want to talk about the book. I have to thank you again for sending me the book. I love it, and I can't wait to have you and Gene on the show. It's going to be Chris. It's going to be great. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Listen, and he played for the Yankees back in what, 78, right? Or 77?
No, 76 and 77. He played
70,
for the Yankees.
so he played for two Yankee teams that went to the World Series. The 76 one, they went against, of course, the great Big Red Machine with the Reds, and they got swept. But then the next year, they came back and beat the Dodgers in the 77 World Series. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to put up real quick, just for you guys, that QR code right up in the corner. Since Dr. J came on, that's the QR code for Chief's book. If you guys want to check it out, that's the link that goes right to the Amazon order. So you want to go check it out. You can preview it. I'm sure there's a preview for it. Go check it out. It's definitely worth it. Rob's reading it now, so should be cool.
I'm almost done with it, and I love it. He has got a great story. The 3 lives. It's just amazing what he went through, and I don't want to get into it now, except just check out that code, check out the book, because I want to talk to Jay and Chief about it. So I'm not going to really get into it, but the book is great. He did a great job. He did a great job with it, Chris, and I'm looking forward to having them on in a couple of weeks. I really want to talk to Chief. He's a character, and he seems like a great guy. So, I really can't wait for that, Chris.
And me too. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. But all right. Anyway, so we were talking about the WBC, and this is so funny to me. Houston Astros third baseman Carlos Correa couldn't receive insurance to play for Puerto Rico, and a couple other guys couldn't either. So singer Bad Bunny offered to pay for his insurance, but MLB, the Astros, and even his agent Scott Boras did not like the idea or approve it. What do you think about that, Chris? Bad Bunny has enough money where he could pay for guys who have a ton of money insurance. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And I could imagine how much it was too. I'm sure it wasn't cheap, to insure a couple of multi-million-dollar baseball players, right? Both those guys have big time contracts, so I don't know. That's interesting. And then on the other side, for his agent, and to tell him don't do it, I wouldn't do it. That kind of shows you how much money is involved here and why it's definitely interesting that Bad Bunny was willing to put up that kind of money. for
Yeah,
these guys.
it's kind of crazy. It really is. And I think Armand's putting up that I guess he is back to the Diamondbacks. I guess the deal was made. So
And 22 million, that's about um, what the 1 year offer was, right? Wasn't
oh,
that
there's
1 year, 22 million with 14 million deferred? Yeesh. He
uh
should have just took the qualifying offer, because I think that's about what it was for, wasn't it?
yeah.
21, right?
Yeah,
21
I think it
and
was 21. All right, so listen, he didn't lose money, he didn't make money over it. It is
and
what
he
it
was
is. So
he's a solid pitcher. I think he just thought he was going to get a multi-year deal, for about that money per year. He was probably looking for, he probably figured, hey, I'm going to get a 4-year deal, maybe 3-year deal from somebody. I'm not going to sign the qualifying offer for 1 year. I think he's 30 years old, right? So you would think so. Yeah, the qualifying offer was 22 million. So that's what he ends up getting. So he basically gets the same thing. And he gets another shot. If there is a next season, he's got another shot next off season at free agency. We'll see what happens.
yeah, definitely, it's a good deal for both of them. All right, so we have some some crazy news with the Phillies. All right, this one's crazy. All right, Zach Wheeler. So Zach Wheeler got that thoracic outlet decompression surgery in September, and that requires them to remove the first rib that's near his right shoulder. So they removed it. The doctor gave it to him in a bag, and he did whatever he had to do to preserve it, and he threw it in his closet. So they were talking about that this week. Could you please? He kept the rib and he threw it in his closet.
Yeah, that's definitely a little strange for sure, right? Listen, I'm sure people have had kidney stones and maybe they've kept those or something, right? But I've never heard someone keeping a bone from their body. No, I definitely never heard that before. So that's definitely interesting. But maybe me and you wouldn't be able to do that, but he obviously can.
But Chris, listen, do you think that he could, not that he needs it, but do you think he could put that on eBay and get money for, like put Zach Wheeler's one of his ribs on eBay? First of all, I don't know if that's legal or not. But do you think there would be somebody out there who would buy that? Don't you think?
Oh, are you kidding me? Absolutely, somebody would buy it. Somebody would probably pay a lot of money for that stupid bone too, but and that somebody probably has a little mental issues too, buying somebody's bone. But yeah, but I'm sure somebody would take it for sure. Somebody would buy it.
Well, let's put it this way, Chris. What if what if one of Babe Ruth's ribs were taken out and on sale eBay? I bet you that would get a lot of money. So I can see there's probably people out.
Think about it. Hats, shirts, socks, everything gets tons of money. I can imagine an actual part of the person's body would get even more, right?
Yeah, really. Like let's go over Uncle Steve's house. We want to see his display of Zach Wheeler's rib that he bought off of eBay.
Exactly.
Okay, Joe Dell. I had a kidney stone. I did not keep my kidney stone. But that was a crazy thing. And since we're talking about the Phillies again, what do you think about what happened with Nick Castellanos this week?
I thought it was horrible how they handled it. Listen, I get that you want to, cut ties with a player. You think he's horrible or whatever. And then, we heard some stories about him, right? About he was taken out of a game for defensive purposes because he's horrible in the field, right?
Right.
So they took him out of right field and he didn't like it so much. So he came back into the dugout with a beer and he wanted to go talk to the manager and, maybe say some things maybe he shouldn't have said. But thankfully, other players stopped him from drinking in the dugout because that's a big no-no. So there was issues there. And obviously the relation, the player relationship there had to be cut. I get it. But why wait until basically spring training starts to cut him. Like they should have cut him at the beginning of or at some point during the offseason where, okay, we're not going to be able to trade this guy, right? Nobody wants Castellanos, even if we pay, 90% of the contract. Nobody's going to want to take this guy because right now he's basically a right-handed DH that's not exactly a dangerous hitter anymore, right? So I just thought that they handled it wrong, and I get it. He made some mistakes too, and all that, but I just thought they handled it horribly. That's just me.
I agree with you. They should have done it earlier, so he could have caught on with someone. With maybe he doesn't. They didn't listen. No one showed any interest when the Phillies wanted to trade him, but the Phillies still owe him $20 million for this year. So a team could pick him up, take a chance, pay the minimum. The Phillies will have to pay the rest and see what happens, right? And a team, maybe the Pirates, the Pirates have been making a couple of deals. Maybe that happens, and the guy, that brings the guy back a little, and he hits a bit. Anything could happen. We've seen that happen before. But I think the Phillies, I agree with you 100%. The Phillies handled it wrong. They should have definitely done it earlier so the guy could have tried to at least hook up with the team. And now, it's right before spring training. So no matter what happened, in the dugout, and they're saying that the Phillies clubhouse was more toxic than the Mets clubhouse last season. So who knows? Who knows what went on, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I felt kind of, I don't know. I just didn't feel right about it because they said it from the beginning that, he's going to be traded or released, during the offseason. And they waited till the very end, which I don't know. And now you're saying like the entire clubhouse was toxic. So, and what did they do? Like they really didn't make many changes, right? Like the main guys are still there. I mean, yeah, they did make some changes in the outfield. They got basically a brand new outfield. And they should be better defensively than what they were. But, we've been talking about this team. It's just, are they getting, or are they just old at this point where I don't know if they're going to be able to compete in that division. I don't know. It's going to be tough because the Mets, it's weird because you got the Mets making all these changes and they brought in all these big name players, and that's great. But there's question marks. So we've been talking about it, right? First base, third base. Who knows what's going to happen right now with Lindor? And then you got the Braves. The Braves, if all their guys are healthy, yeah, that's a really dangerous team. Like you know it better than I do how good the Braves could be when they're healthy. But we've seen them, this team, that's another team that's starting to get a little bit on the older side, and you got Acuna coming back from another injury again to his legs. So, like, what is he going to be when he comes back? Is he going to be the MVP guy that we've seen a couple of years ago? Or is he going to be, a step back from that? I don't know. Olsen's older. So I don't know. So this division's either going to be really good with three teams plus the Marlins kind of hanging in there with them for a little while, or it could be a mess, right? You could see maybe the Phillies are going to implode. Maybe the Mets are going to implode. Maybe the Braves are going to implode. Like it's such a weird division, or like it's going to be a really interesting division this year because it's almost like anything is possible with this division. It could be really good. You could have four really good teams. You could have, one team totally collapsing because of injuries or because of age or because it just didn't work out because they're all new together. It's just, I'm really looking forward to what happens in the NL East this year.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be interesting. I agree with you. We don't know what we're going to get yet. I honestly think the Phillies are our old team now. I've been saying that since 2024 though in the postseason, and look what happened last year. They won the division again. So they shut me up. But I honestly think now, and since they really didn't make that many moves, but listen, I like their closer. They have a great closer. So You
Yeah.
know, anything could happen. It's wide open, I think. Now check this out. WFAN's Evan Roberts, all right? He was talking about the Mets. And he
Oh
said,
boy.
why don't the Mets try to bring back some of the magic of 2024 by signing free agent Jose Iglesias? He would be cheap. And I gotta say, OMG, that would be going back to the past. Aren't the Mets trying to move forward now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, would he be good as like a utility player maybe on the team if that's what I wouldn't bring him back. Like, you know what? Maybe bring him back for spring training, right? As a
Right.
guy there just in case if Lindor is going to be out a week
Good
in
idea.
the regular season or 2 weeks. I could see that. And then when Lindor comes back, at that point, if there's nobody else that could go down, then you know what? Then he's the guy that probably goes. But you never know. Like I wouldn't be totally against it, but I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, let's just turn the page. But he was one of the good things from
Yeah.
2024, right? I mean, when he
Listen,
was there,
right.
the OMG, that
I
whole
like
stuff. And so that was great, right, for you guys. So
right.
I get what he's saying, but I also get what you're saying. Like, just turn the page. Let's start over. Let's kind of like, it's a new chapter. I get that too.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him. I did. Of course, it was fun. How could you not like what he brought to that team? He brought energy. It was a lot of fun. That postseason was really fun. The Mets went further than we thought they were going to go. So it was fun. But yeah, I think you got to just move on unless they do what you said. Bring him in for spring training. Well, the Lindor, well, it's going on with Lindor's injury and everything, like you said, and see what happens. But maybe that'll be all right. But other than that, let's move forward. Do you have that picture of Elroy face? We could talk about that for a minute or two. All right, Chris. So he passed away. He was a relief pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He died at the age of 97, right?
Yep. Originally from New York too. Steventown, New York.
Oh, okay. So he's a New York State guy, and he saved 3 games in the 1960 World Series. And Chris, you know what happened in the 1960 World Series, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That was that was the one where they blew him out 3 games, and then they end up losing that game 7, right? So, but yeah, I mean the guy's how many All-Stars? Not a 6-time All-Star, 1960 World Champion. He's got the most saves and the most appearances by a Pirate in their franchise history, which is pretty cool. I mean, the guy hasn't pitched since his last time he pitched was in 1969 with the Expos. The next time we speak to Danny Gallagher, we could probably talk to him about that.
Yeah, he would know.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he pitched 44 games for them. He saved 5 games in 1969. So he was still pitching pretty good at age 41. He led the league in appearances, a couple of 1-2 years, games finished 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons, saves 3 seasons. Got some MVP votes a couple of years. So he had a nice career, for a guy, lasted a long time too, He's another guy. He pitched, whatever it was. I just had it. Sorry.
That's all right. Well, you're looking that up. And in 1959, he went 18-1 with a 2.70 ERA. Imagine 18-1 in 1959. That's crazy.
And you know what? He was also a closer that year. He had 10 saves.
That's amazing. That's pretty amazing.
He didn't start. He was 18-1. He didn't start 1 game.
That's great. He didn't start 1 game and he was 18-1. Listen.
He threw 57 games. ERA was 2.70. All-Star that year, and he was 7th in the MVP. He should be 18 wins and 10 saves. That's pretty good.
Seventh. He probably should have been up a little closer, but I could imagine who was in the race for MVP in '59.
Yeah.
He was also his nickname was the Baron of the Bullpen, and he's also a member of the Pirates Hall of Fame too. So he did make the Pirates Hall of Fame, and deservingly so. I can't get over that 1959 season, 18-1. That's crazy. You don't see starters now go 18-1.
Right, exactly. And here, just to throw out the names that were ahead of him in the MVP voting that year, Ernie Banks won it with a 45 home run season. Eddie Matthews was second with a 46 home run season. Hank Aaron was third with a 39 home run season. So top three were all Hall of Famers. Then Wally Moon of the Dodgers was fourth. Sam Jones was the first pitcher in the MVP voting. He had 21 wins and 15 losses and a 2.83 ERA. Then Willie Mays was sixth in the voting. And then it was Roy Face.
That's amazing. I'll tell you, that really is amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's great. So, our condolences to his family. What a great story that is. 18-1 in 1959. That's great. Now we got some other news about a pitcher. Chris, what was Emmanuel Clase thinking with this stupid gambling where he used coded language, rigged pitch in the playoff games, and why? And Joe Dell, I don't remember his rookie year. Very funny. No. This is not Sports Wire Radio, so we don't go there anymore.
Right.
But anyway, what do you think? Dan, that's right. Dan remembers him, so that's especially against the Yankees in 1960 in that World Series. Anyway, what do you think about Clase? This guy, what a low life.
I know. I would listen. He had to be involved with bigger guy. He must have owed a lot of money to somebody, and they were looking to get the money back. And this was the way he was going to give them their money back. I don't know, something. It just doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing this stuff for a $10,000 bet or a $5,000? It just doesn't make sense for this guy, Clase, to be doing that. I could understand the other guy because he just came up and you know what? Maybe he's not going to be, a Clase type closer making, 12, 15, $20 million a year. But that's what Clase was arguably the best closer in the game. And he's looking to make an extra 10 grand on a pitch with gambling and, illegal gambles and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I would think he was in with somebody for a lot of money, and this is what they told him to do to work it off somehow. I don't know, but either way, it's stupid, right? For this guy to be doing that.
Yeah,
so,
Chris, it's like, okay, I know gambling is a sickness with some people, but why do most people gamble? To win money, right? But if you're a great closer in Major League Baseball, you already have the money and you're going to make more money. So it's got to be something. Some more's got to come out, right? Because I know, we bet on things so we can make some money. You already have the money. So what are you doing? I mean, it's just crazy. And that's it. Career's over and you're probably going to jail. So I don't know. There's got to be a reason, and it'll probably come out. But right now, it has us shaking our heads. What's going on with this guy? He wasted his career, Chris. That's it.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And he was still young enough. He was gonna get a big contract. I think he had another year left on his contract, maybe one more. So 1 or 2 more years, he was looking to, maybe this offseason would have been the year that he, that he cashes in on a big contract, or maybe next year if that ever comes. But it's crazy to think a guy at his level, of how good this guy was, and he was so close to getting a big contract, bigger than what he already had,
Right.
is mind-boggling. It really is. It's mind-boggling.
It is, and sports is gambling. Well, you know what? Yeah, you're kind of right. And Major League Baseball also, you gotta blame them for some of this stuff too, because we've said this how many times throughout the show. They are taking big money from these gambling sites, DraftKings, to sponsor, like DraftKings, the post game show is sponsored by DraftKings. The first pitches, this is where these Class A was throwing pitches, in the dirt. And meanwhile, Major League Baseball's like, well, the first pitch is sponsored by DraftKings, right? It's crazy if you think about it.
It's true. And every inning, every commercial is always one of these gambling things, right? So yeah, it's horrible, but it's never going to change, because think of the money that, with the money that they're getting from the advertisement and everything, it just, they don't care. It's all about money.
And it's never gonna change. All right, Joe. I guess tonight's
your lucky night, Joe.
Oh, did he? Oh, good job.
Said he won $100 on a $3 scratch.
Oh, while watching the show. Wow, that's good, Joe.
There you go. So now you got to buy one every Friday night before you watch the show.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So anyway, let's move on. We got some other news. What do you think about the Dodgers re-signing Kiki Hernandez to a 1-year, $4.5 million contract, Chris?
I think that money is just for the playoffs, right? That guy does crazy good things in the playoffs. So he's a guy I kind of wanted the Yankees to sign last year as like the utility guy, because he's so good in the playoffs. He's the type of player you want on your team. We always talk about those type of players that every team wants, right? He's that type of player that you want on your team. Like a better player like him is like Bregman, right? One of those guys that you just want on your team. You hate him when he's against you, but when he's on your team, he just raises your team up just that one little notch, right? And his game goes up a notch in the playoffs as well, right? So Kiki is not going to kill you with stats during the regular season. He's not the greatest player or the greatest fielder, but listen, when October rolls around, you know what? He knows when to pick up his game, and that's when his game matters, and that's when it matters to have him in the lineup or on the bench. So I think it's smart for $44 million for that type of player. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the Dodgers have it. The Dodgers aren't paying a lot of salary this season with all those deferrals and everything. That it's kind of crazy when you look at their payroll and what they're going to owe. They're going to be paying players forever, but right now it doesn't affect them that much. The Dodgers the Dodgers are going to be tough to beat this season. What do you think of their winning their third straight World Series, Chris?
You know what? If any team could do it, it's them. And right now they're set up to do it. I mean, they're the best team in the league, right? When if we put all the rosters together and ranking them, they're definitely the best team in the league. And they're going for their third championship in a row. But I mean, watching the Yankees and, or any other team going for 3 in a row, it's tough, because now the bullseye was on your back last year going for 2 in a row. Now you're going for 3 in a row. So now teams, you definitely got the bullseye on your back. They should win the division. I don't think the Padres are going to give them that much of a problem, or anybody else in that division. But in the playoffs, you just never know. You just never know. In a short series, anything can happen, right? But do I feel good? Like, if right now, who else would you say is going to win the World Series? Right? I don't know. I mean, who looks that good to you that you're going to think, oh yeah, that's the team I think is going to win the World Series this year? The Dodgers are the only team that I feel that strongly about.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, they win the World Series 2 years in a row, and they don't just stand still. They get
No.
the best, probably the best reliever in baseball. Edwin Diaz, that I'm still trying to get over, and and they signed Tucker too. I mean, what?
It's crazy.
It's
And the two guys combined almost $100 million between the two of them, right? Tucker got signed for $60 million a year, and Diaz was almost 30, right? 25, 28 million or whatever it was. So, I mean, it's just crazy money, but that's the Dodgers. And that brings up the bigger question here. Legacy, no doubt. Absolutely, Joe. I totally agree. And that brings up the bigger problem because they have such a huge financial advantage over mostly any other team.
right.
The only team they don't really have that advantage over is probably the Mets because of Cohen, because of the money he
Yeah,
brings. But
right.
I think other than that, I mean, and now their TV deal, because they filed for bankruptcy a few years ago, they have a TV deal where they don't have to share it with anybody. Like their revenue, all of it is theirs. So it's on top of having a great TV deal, and now they get to keep all of it, So there's so many issues with Major League Baseball. This is one, right? With the revenue sharing, the TV contracts, all that crap. Like something's got to give. And, we talk about it all the time about, next off season. Yeah, we might be in for a long season, a long off season, because the 2027 season may not happen, right? Because this came up. They're ready to burn the whole house down. Basically, a high-ranking team official spoke to Jeff Passan on an MLB owner's desire for a salary cap, and you know what? It's the truth, right? Like without a salary cap, you're not going to stop a team like the Dodgers from spending crazy money, or the Mets, or the Yankees for that matter, or the Phillies, or, the Blue Jays, because they're up there too. Like you're just not going to stop that. And a new commissioner, I agree, Jay, without a doubt. Yeah, commissioner is definitely a problem, but
that's big. That's big. But you listen, and already the players say they do not want to hear about a salary cap, right? So right off the bat, they don't want to talk about a salary cap. So what do you think's going to happen after this season? Listen, you thought it might be short. I said it's going to be long. I think it's going to be long, Chris.
I think so too, but I just think at some point, they got to say, listen, we got to do something. Like they have to look at the big picture. They can't just keep looking at themselves, and they have to look at, hey, listen, even with a salary cap, if there's a floor, all those teams that aren't spending money are going to be spending money. So they got to look at it like, hey, listen, the money's still going to be there. The big money guys, the big free agents, like no matter what, if, a player like Juan Soto becomes a free agent, he's going to get paid. He's going to get a ridiculous contract. It's just the way it is. And then I'm sure the way that the league is going to entice them with the cap, they're going to say, we're going to raise up the minimum wage, right? It's whatever it is. It's like $780 now, which is ridiculous. Imagine the worst player in the league gets almost $800,000, right, to play baseball. So
it's crazy.
Right? So I'm sure they're going to bring that up to about $1 million or something, right?
I think
no
so.
matter what. Yeah, I just think they got to look at the big picture. And listen, I get it. They're fighting for other things, but if it's just a cap, and the players should not have come out and said that, we don't want to, we're not talking about a cap. That's the worst part, right? You're talking about negotiations, like at least say, listen, I have no comments. We're going to talk about it at the table. That's all. Like, you don't have to say we want it or don't want it. Just say no comment.
Don't come out right out at the bell saying that. But anyway, wow, this hour went fast as usual, Chris. We're down to like a half a minute. Monday we'll have Chris's technical difficulty, so you don't see a talking baseball, talking logo on But anyway, why don't you put up that picture? I just want to announce Monday at 3 p.m. we have former Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Chad Durbin's going to join us to talk about his career and what he's up to now. It's always fun when we have former major leaguers on, so you got to be here Monday, 3 p.m. I'm looking forward to talking to Chad. Talking with Chad, Chris, it's going to be great.
Yeah, listen, hey, he pitched against the Yankees in the 2009 World Series, so I'm going to ask him about that. So, and if you guys got any questions, come on Monday. If not, drop them in the comment section. Like when we post the show, you could go on that page and post questions, and we'll answer. We'll ask them, even if you're not here, and then you could always watch it later on. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking forward to talking to Chad on Monday. I want to thank Dr. Jay Thomas for watching the show tonight. A couple of weeks, we're going to have him on. We're going to have Chief on, and that's going to be another great show. And hope you go. Maria says, hope you come through for the next show. Yeah, he'll be all right. The video will be all right. All right. So like I said, thanks, Jay, for coming on, and we can't wait to talk to you. Chris, I will talk to you on Monday, 3 p.m. with former Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Chad Durbin. We'll see everybody Monday, 3 p.m.